I'm here to show you not only this cactus, but more importantly, the white stuff on the cactus, if you can see that. And now I'm going to squish it and try and, I don't know, I have no idea how good this is going to come out. But that red is cochineal. If you've ever wondered about food colouring in the red department, you used to be able to buy cochineal food colouring over the counter. And it is made from the bugs that live on cactuses. It's also here in Australia, because cactuses aren't native, because of the British. They wanted to grow cochineal bugs here on these cactuses so that they could have their red coats. They used to use it in clothing dye. It is a very effective dye, a very cool dye. And I just happened to be driving past and saw the white marks on the cactus and went, gee, I wonder. So I'm a little bit too excited about this. This is the cochineal after I've dried it for a number of days and then crushed it up in the mortar and pestle. And I was cleaning my mortar and pestle when I thought I would give you a look at how it came out. So I can just give you a few dabs. So that's what it looks like in its basic form. Now, a thing that a lot of people don't know is if you add just a little bit of lemon juice, you end up, I am not doing a very good of showing you this in the light, a different colour. This is just the beginning of my experiments. This is the cochineal after it sat in water overnight, and I boiled it in this pot for a little bit, and now I'm draining it through a cloth to get the dye that I can use. I'm taking the cochineal to the next logical step, which is to dye stuff with it. I've got all these different pots because these are all my sample pots. And I've only just put them on, so you can't expect that these colours will stay. Like, some of it will wash out. But that is basically my test sample. It's only got cochineal in it, no other additives. This one, if I can get it out, has the wool itself has been soaked in vinegar, because often vinegar helps with the uptake, but given the fact that cochineal is subject to acids and bases, that's why it's slightly different. This one is allium, which is also a very good one for uptaking colours, but it can alter the colour slightly, which is why this one is like quite a nice little purple going on. This one, I believe, is copper sulfate. It's copper based anyway. And copper often has a bluing and purpling effect, which is why this one seems like a nice purple. So then we we come over to this one, which I can't think of the proper technical term, but essentially I'm working with rust, so iron, which is why this one, normally rust has a darkening effect, but there's always no way to be 100% sure of the outcome you're going to get. So I'm very curious about this one. This one is like my absolute fave, and I don't often say fave. Look at how orange it is. It is like orange. So I didn't mean to make it that orange. I miscalculated because I didn't have cream of tartar. And normally you're supposed to use cream of tartar. So I used citric acid. And I used a little bit too much, and now I've got this vibrant orange when I was going for that red, like your Coke box red, to sort of simulate the red coats. This one was really just for funsies. I added soda, like for washing. With the intention of seeing of whether or not it might go blue. Given the fact that it is subject to acids and bases, I wanted to know if you go orange with an acid, what colour would it go with a base or an alkaline? So that's what I've got. at the moment. And now I'm just going to cook them for a while, and then I'm going to hang them out to dry for a while so that they have time to, I don't have the word for it. Anyway, before washing it, because if you wash too soon after dyeing, you lose a lot of it. It hasn't had time to mature or that sort of thing. If any of that actually makes sense, I don't know. Nonetheless, I will show you the finished product later.
So I don't know what happened to the footage I had of it on the line. Not that it really matters, given the fact that it just swung on the line while it set for a couple of hours until I rinsed it out. I will show you in a moment what it looked like after it had dried. And I'm not 100% sure if I ever did a video for this or whether I just took a photo. So we'll just go off the photo. Now, from left to right, this is exactly how I described it in the jars. So the first one has no additives at all. It's just straight up wool and cochineal. The second one was the one that was soaked in vinegar. The third one was the allium. The fourth one, the greenish one, was the one that contained the copper. The one after that was the iron or rust. The bright orange, well, it's more of a red here, but in the jars it was orange, which was the one that I'd add a little bit too much citric acid to, which worked out brilliantly. I'm so glad I stuffed that up in a fashion. And the last one was the washing soda, which barely took at all. It was quite disappointing, but it was still a fun experiment, and I plan to do some more cochineal dyeing in the future. I've zoomed in here just so I could show you the difference between the different fibers, because when I do my test batches, I tend to use cotton, two different types of sheep. So one of them is our merino, and the other one is my meat sheep, and alpaca. So if you look at the red one right now, you'll notice that there are some really distinct white bits. And those white bits are the cotton. It didn't take to the cotton very well at all, which might help from a history perspective to understand why the red coats were made of wool. Cotton wouldn't have been an overly available fiber at the time. So knowing whether or not it would take to cotton would have been irrelevant.